What's up, guys? Answer Knows Hoops back today with another video, and today we are back with another episode of the X Factor series. And today we are discussing the second-year player Andrew Nembhard for the Indiana Pacers, who in the regular season averaged 9, 2, and 4. And in the playoffs is where a lot of people, myself included, went, wait a minute, what's going on here? Where he averaged 15, 3, and 6 on 56 from the field on 11 attempts a game, so that's really freaking good. 4 threes a game to 48%, and 77% from the line, about 1.5 a game. Now, this guy is something that I think the Pacers really need to make sure they don't mess up. But let's get into it. But before we do, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. We're almost to 900. We're like 19 subs away. Guys, let's crush that by the end of this month. And then that way we're to 1K before the next season. Interviews should be coming out next week. Audio and stuff should be all set. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's talk about what Andrew Nembhard did as a scorer that made him so impressive, right? First off, all off-ball movement, right? Consistently moving away from Drew. Now, I do want to preface this with a warning. I don't want people to think that Andrew Nembhard is going to be doing stuff like this consistently. Like, first of all, the body control here, though, is excellent, right? Gets Brown on the chest. By the way, you could definitely tell he's trying to draw a foul. He went, oh, shoot. So I guess I could put the ball up, right? But that's good body control. That's a good way to create that separation distance. And again, forces quick pace, quick tempo, gets it to Drew. Back top of the key, gets the Siakam screen. I love this pass out, right? Because then again, it allows him to reset, get back to three. Drew jumps, right? Because again, at this point, this guy's been fire from three. Gets past, stays ahead of Horford. Tatum can't jump in time, understandably so, because I'm pretty sure he's thinking Horford right around here is going to continue to try and close off, right? And then Tatum was trying to kind of, be a secondary backup. But instead, right, Horford just sort of stays at the side of Nembhard. That's a beautiful lay, right? Like, I love his, when he puts his head down and gets to the rim. What he does there is excellent. Even here, right? This is important. Now, I know what you're thinking. But Emster, it's a catch and shoot three. A lot of put. Here's the thing. And we'll get into it more once I finish the last scoring clip here. But I just want people to understand Andrew Nembhard in some ways will not look like this next season. So I'm sure you're wondering, so that Emster, why are you making the video about him? Because I think the thing is, while TJ McConnell's an excellent backup point guard, arguably, I would say probably the best backup point guard in basketball, to have this guy in the tuck of like, hey, if he just, gets even better, we've got a guy that can play defense next to Tyrese, play similar in terms of willing to pass the ball, can shoot, willing to attack the rim if needed, can play out of the pick and roll. And let's just keep going, right? But this is important because this shows that he's willing to be off ball, make simple plays, right? And not every player is, and that's okay. But even here, right? Nembhard spins around, keeps Derek White basically. So at this point, the whole back of the lane is wide open, and that's just an easy lay. Like, that is a beautiful possession of basketball, right? And let me just make sure something real quick before we proceed. Okay, so in this clip, right, again, Nembhard's off the ball, right? So he goes for the pick and roll action. At this point, Tatum and Horford are sort of stuck in between who's switching where. Gets this hard step to create that space. I love the way Andrew Nembhard uses his feet, to create separation. Because even there, that's a beautiful arcing shot. Now again, are all of these shots I am expecting to continuously just go in and go in and go in and go in and go in? Nope, I don't. Because some of this is a guy emerging, right? And you're going to have games where even if you're not consistently hitting those shots, it's like, okay, Nembhard can hit that. And that's where I think I want people to temper their expectations. The thing is, too, and I think a lot of people forget this, Andrew Nembhard, while being going to be a third-year player, I believe will be turning 25. Now, again, that's not saying that he can't continue to develop and grow and whatever. I just want us to keep a mindset of, yes, he's a young player in terms of time in the league, but he is a older guy in terms of like he's closer to being a vet than per se than he is being like, you know, one of the rooks that we really gotta like pull aside and be like, hey, rook, you know, we don't act, you know what I mean? So his ceiling, I think, compared to a lot of these other people, might be a little bit lower just because I'm in comparison. A lot of these guys I've talked about, right? First, second year players, guys who, if things click, can go to the next level, right? Or you have a Denny who's been in the league for like 4 or 5 years, but he's like 23 now, you know what I mean? Because he entered the league at like 18, 19. I want people to know, I think next season, Nembhard's production will probably increase because I do think that the Pacers looked at this playoff series and just the playoffs in general for the most part and sort of circled it as like, we need to make sure he stays involved. So I think for sure Nembhard, I would say in the perfect situation, because obviously TJ McConnell's just getting older and older, he'll probably be the backup point guard / 2 guard of the future for the Pacers. I think Nembhard at his best could honestly average like 15, and I would say like 5 assists and like 3 boards, and that's really freaking good, right? But let's continue, right? Because I want to show his passing and playmaking, because I think this is something that where he gets lost in the shuffle in terms of people don't talk about it, right? Because the big thing was he was going against the best defense in the league, arguably, and was just finding ways, right? I love this play right here, right? Pump, Drew jumps again, Derek comes over to help. And you could tell, right, his head is already turned, so he knows what he wants to do with it. Out, wing 3, right? It's just, I love the simple reads, too, with Nembhard. Nembhard at times lets the ball just come to him and lets everything flow naturally, right? Again, Miles Turner here. Horford stays back for too long, so Nembhard's like, oh, well, that's Miles, and this dude, yo. Miles Turner, we might need to talk about that shooting performance in the playoffs. That brother could not miss, right? Like, that is a beautiful 3. And again, it's Halliburton-esque. Like, it's those sort of reads. So getting that in another guard, right? And again, TJ McConnell, great passer and playmaker. Even here, like, you could see the one thing I love here, and this is important. I think a lot of basketball fans forget about this. The importance of eye movement or eye line. Because Andrew Nembhard is looking straight ahead as if I'm going to drive this ball. Siakam is rolling. And you can even see Tatum's like, hey, like, you know, Pascal's behind me. And Horford's staying here because he doesn't want to, you know, possibly give up the drive. And Nembhard instead kicks it out to the wing, stays in front of Horford just long enough. Another 3 ball, right? Again, I think it's the little things with Nembhard that I think, honest to God, can add up to be a game-changing player, right? Even here, gets the ball. This pass is beautiful, right? Like, Tatum, at this point, he's, like, sunk, but he's, like, not fully committed over. And even Derek White's thinking the ball went out somewhere else. Everyone got confused. Now, TJ for sure probably could have just gone up and made it a little bit easier on himself. But that's, like, again, that's a tough read, but that's a good read. And I think for the Pacers, this is a perfect complementary guard kind of player for a Tyrese Halliburton. Like, he doesn't need the ball to be effective, but when he does have it, he is still effective. Like, that I think is an important ability for a lot of role players now. On and off ball creation. Whether it be shot creation in terms of like, I can catch and shoot. I can, you know, run around, get some cuts. You know what I'm saying? I can make easy baskets for my star player, you know, to get for me. And if the ball's in my hand, I'm not completely inept and just sort of viewed as like, I'm going to play drop, I'm going to play this because I know you're basically going to be looking to pass, or unless you're immediately going to shoot it, we're chilling. And I think that's important. And I also think one thing that's nice about this is Andrew Nembhard he's a dog on defense. Him and Nesmith, I think, and that was the one reason, honest to God, that's what really, even before the playoffs, to put me on to Nembhard and Nesmith, was the effort on defense. Like, even here. Now, obviously, is this guy the best player in the world? No. But it's effort. And it's a regular season game against the Charlotte Hornets in, like, February. Right? And that's a hustle. This is a hustle play. Right? That willingness to go 94 feet like it's 2K. Right? Again, it's hustle. It's and for someone with Tyrese Halliburton, right? That's important. You got to surround him with defense. Even here, this is just sheer athleticism. Like, it's a bad pass too, but like, it's a good play by Nembhard to close off the body of the big that Miles Bridges is trying to pass to. And then here, full court, making him uncomfortable. Another Martin brother, right? Gives him that little bit of space, immediately fights under the screen because he knows the man's going to try and roll. And fights through Grant Williams and pokes the ball out from behind him. Because he sees, right, Miles Turner does the perfect job of sort of going to close off. So Martin's like, oh, I can go, has he stopped, go back? But no, Nembhard gets the ball out. And again, this isn't to say that Nembhard is some elite defender or some all NBA defender in hiding. But I think he's someone that you are satisfied with his defensive side of the basketball because he puts in the effort consistently through his footwork, through his speed, use of athleticism. I think this guy is something really nice. Like, I think they found a perfect glue piece for this team. And again, I know some of these other players I've talked about as if they're going to be much higher regarded. So I'm sure you're thinking, but Emster, so why does this guy matter? Why does it? Because at the end of the day, guys, not every player can turn out to be an all-star caliber. Not every player can turn out to be all-NBA caliber, superstar, star, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, teams value guys like Al Horford. Teams, more so in the past couple of years, back in like 21, 22, guys like PJ Tucker. Now, I'm not saying that these are direct one-to-ones, but the idea of there is a guy that I know he can fit because his style of play does not diminish the team and can only add. That is what Andrew Nembhard is. So keep an eye out for this guy next season, because I don't necessarily think the scoring is going to go through the roof, but I think he's going to produce in a way that is so much more meaningful to this team that's going to have a lot of people really thinking. So again, guys, let me know what you think down below. Is Andrew Nembhard the hidden player on this team? Do you think it's Aaron Nesmith? Who do you guys think it is? Let me know what you guys think down below. As always, this was Amsterdam Hoops. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Much love to you guys, man. Have a good one. Peace out.